Hello, everyone. Uh, it's me, Mr. Gaming Guitarist, and I was really hesitating to make this video because at first I was wondering whether I should even be talking about this person, but I want to stay, as much as I can, stay consistent with uploading videos, but I wasn't going to because and I'm just going to keep on talking because if I put this off now, I'm never going to do it. And all of the things that's going on inside my head right now, I have to let it out. So, I found out that someone that I went to high school with, she was like a classmate of mine for 7th and 8th grade, and we never really had any classes together in high school, but I would see her sometimes in the hallway. Um, I found out yesterday that she died. She passed away, and hearing the news about her passing away really it really shook me in a way I didn't really expect, because this she's the first person that I know of, that's in my age group. We were in the same grade, to just pass away. Maybe there were other people that I was classmates with, but it really messed with me because I didn't really know her all that well. Her and I can tell you her first name, but I'm not going to say what her last name is, of course, because I feel that it's not right to give the person's name out like that. But give the person's last name out, I don't feel like that's right to do that. But her name is Jasmine, and her death just really shook me up because I haven't seen her, since the day that we graduated, and I don't even know if I even really spoke to her that much. But I remember we were we had the same history class in 7th grade and 8th grade, and I remember her desk was always next to mine, and she would she would always make fun of me. Uh, but we would always have a laugh about it. It's like she would make fun of me because I love classic rock, and of course, and if you were watching all my last videos, you would always know this is the what how I always identified with is I was a purist for only classic rock and metal from the 60s through the 90s. That was all I cared about. And I remember there was one time when I had a Guitar World magazine with Led Zeppelin on the cover of it, and she would say, "Oh, they're so old and hairy." But I also remember in 7th grade, I just had my iPod Nano, and I would listen to it while waiting for my dad to pick me up. I'm sorry. 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 Um, but I remember listening to my iPod, in junior high, and I was waiting for my dad to pick me up, and I just remembered, she would say, um, who are you listening to, Jaron? I'd say, oh, I'm listening to Rush, Jasmine. She's like, would you like to hear a little bit of it? And so I remember she put the earbud in her ear, and and she was like, oh, that's not that bad. It's like I was like, I told you, Rush is amazing. And I think the song I was listening to at that time was "The Trees" from the Hemispheres album, and but I remembered, she was a fan of this band. I don't know if I'm even remembering this correctly, but she was a fan of this band called All Time Low. I think they were. I don't know, and forgive me if you're an All Time Low fan, and I don't know everything about them, but I think they were, from that punk pop punk scene, kind of, maybe along the same lines as Paramore, because I believe she was also a Paramore fan too at the time when I refused to listen to them, but because I was just a stupid kid. But but the part, that really breaks my heart is, I found out, she moved out of town, and in February, because I remember before, like, because I haven't seen her in such a long time, and I barely ever get on Facebook, but the few times, like, maybe sometimes I would see a post from her, and I would just text her, or I would, on the Facebook Messenger, I'd say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? And I remember in February, out of the blue, she just texted me and said, oh, hey, Jaron, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a long time. How are you doing? And I remember she responded back, or sorry, I responded back, and I said, well, I've been through hell, but I'm still just grateful to be alive. How are you doing? How are you doing? How have you been all these years? And that was it. She never responded back to me, but I don't know what going on in her life. I don't know what's going on at all. Well, and it's like I struggle, you know, because sometimes it's like, because I it just messed me up, because it made me realize just how much I sometimes take life and things and sometimes people, for granted. And it's like you never know who's gonna be here today and who's gonna be gone tomorrow. And finding out that she passed away, just really, it just really messed me up, because I because I don't know, what anything that was, because I know, because we were never close, but I thought that maybe I would get the chance to reconnect with her, because I knew she was living out of town. But if I was able to just talk to her on the phone, a little bit, and just tried texting her regularly. It would have been nice to reconnect with someone that I used to know, back in middle school and in high school, and she was always very nice to me. It's like, yeah, sometimes we would poke fun at each other's music taste, but it was all in good fun. And it's just really, I'm just really sad that I'll never get the chance to really, reconnect with her again, because I've learned now I'm I'm extremely introverted. I barely leave my house, and especially now I'm still waiting to somehow get hired, sign up for unemployment, get the money together, find a job I can walk to, and get the money just to get my car back. And but then it made me learn that isolating yourself is not good, and you have to go out there. You have to go out there. If there's anyone that you remember that you haven't spoken to, that you haven't seen in a really long time, just call them up. Just call them up or text them. Call them, say, hey, it's been a really long time since I've seen you. How are you doing? Because sometimes that's just really important. Because you never know when they're not going to be here anymore. And now I miss her a lot. And and I can already see comments, or maybe I shouldn't even be thinking about this stuff, but I'm not gonna lie. There would be times in my head saying, "Jaren, why are you going to make a video about her when talking about her? You didn't really know, you were never close, you never saw each other outside of school, but it just makes me realize that life is way too short, and I want to honor her memory as much as I can by just putting myself out there, not being afraid to go out there, talk to people, try to just make friends, and just get your ass out there and go do it. Stop being so afraid to go walk outside, go find a job, try to learn some new skills, go out there in the world, because seeing Jasmine, the old classmate, pass away just so suddenly, it made me learn that you can't just sit around doing nothing, waiting for something to happen, waiting for something good to happen. It has to be all on you, and you have to live life to the fullest. You cannot just live feeling sorry for yourself. But anyways, I had to get all these feelings off my chest, because would be times there were times yesterday after I found out about her death when I was just saying, repress it, repress it, repress it, just stuff it down, stuff it down. You have more things to be worrying about right now. But then I had to learn, no, that's the absolute horrible way to think. That's the wrong way to think. Because if seeing someone pass away, if that really affects you, you have to let those feelings out, because it's like the only way to heal is to the only way to heal is you gotta let all of that, you gotta let that shit out, man. You just got to. And because I would tell myself, it's unusual to grieve for someone that you barely knew, that you haven't seen in 10 years, but damn it, now I'm going no one to reach out to people that I haven't seen, because this is a reminder that you just have to go out there, and it made me learn having connections, having social life, having people that you can talk to is so important. And knowing that I'll never get the chance to reconnect with Jasmine really hurts my soul, because she was a nice person. The times that I talked to her, every time I saw her when we were kids, she was always a nice person. And and she would laugh at my corny jokes, and she would always say, "Wow, you are so enthusiastic about these old guitar players." But I don't know what else to say. But rest in peace, Jasmine. I'm gonna miss you a lot.